Roman legion versus Viking horde. Who will win? The answer to this question is very easy. The legion will win, and quite independently of the armament, training of fighters, and experience of their commanders. The decisive role will be played by the very structure of the two opposing armies. Legion has a clear organization. It is a real army of up to 6,000 people, divided into cohorts, in turn consisting of manipulas and those from the centuria. The legion has its own cavalry, combat vehicles, scorpions, ballistae, onagers, catapults, engineering corps, intelligence headquarters, and most importantly, a command structure that ensures discipline in battle. And the Viking horde was a retinue, gathered around one leader, Jarl. There were both full-fledged herdsmen, who were considered to be the chief's fighting companions, and jesters, that is, invited, allies or mercenaries. The third category were the huskarls, ordinary Scandinavian warriors. Herdmen in any horde were few. With them the chieftain shared his own booty, and in peacetime kept them at his own expense. For a jarl to have a large number of such friends would be honorable, but extremely burdensome. At the same time, the chief could rely only on them in battle. All other warriors of the horde were not characterized by any semblance of discipline. Could the Vikings gather a host equal in number to the Roman legion? Theoretically, yes, but it would not have been an organized army, but a union of many jarl squads under the command of one konung. Before the battle, it was possible to set a separate task to each squadron, but it would not be possible to manage this army as one whole during the battle. Such a united horde could organize a furious onslaught on the Romans at the beginning of the battle, but further, the battle would inevitably break into many separate fights. The squadron of each of the jarls would fight on its own. The first Romans were to be attacked by wedges consisting of berserkers and outcasts, desperate warriors who had renounced their kind or were banished from it. If the enemy Scandinavians were able to resist the first onslaught, the herd went into a deft defense, called a wall of shields, except that the Romans have bigger shields and stronger discipline. In addition, they have pilums, heavy darts, the throw of which will immediately deprive the Vikings of their defense. The point of the pilum would get stuck in the shield and force the enemy to throw it. Not every Viking in the horde had at least some armor. Without shields, they were defenseless, and would either suffer heavy casualties or be forced to retreat. This means that the Romans had the opportunity to break the horde in pieces. Roman cavalry was not characterized by striking power because of the lack of stirrups, but the Romans had cavalry, and the Vikings did not. At the decisive moment, the Roman horsemen could make a flank attack or bypass the horde and attack the Vikings from behind. The whole horde is doomed if at least one of its units fails. The Romans get the opportunity to finish off the rest with superior forces. Suppose even the Vikings defeated the Romans with a surprise attack, but they will not be able to completely destroy the legion. Centurions will take their units to a fortified camp, which herd is not to the teeth. The Vikings do not have any siege machines, and storm the defenses they have nothing. The Romans will have the opportunity to gather their forces and deliver a crushing blow back. Another important circumstance, the Romans are familiar with the tactics of the horde and the principles of its organization and methods of warfare. Vikings on land fought about the same as any Germanic tribe. For the Romans, such a battle would be just another clash with the northern barbarians. But the Vikings had never before encountered an opponent with Roman organization and methods of warfare. In their time, there were no such armies. In addition, the Vikings did not know how to wage a regular war lasting any length of time. Even if a significant part of the horde managed to break away from the pursuit of the Roman legion and leave on ships, in the long term, confrontation with the Romans would inevitably end with the defeat of the Vikings.